Hello and welcoming you all back to a video lecture series on operational decision making. In this video lecture series, we will be looking on to a various interesting topics on operations management and operational decision making process. In our previous video lecture series on operational decision making, we have seen a basic of operations management. We have discussed about what is operations management, what are the day-to-day operations that takes place in an organization, and we have also discussed about the importance of decision making, and further we have discussed on what is goods, what are the types of goods, and what is service, what is the difference between goods and services, goods and products, and we were also been discussing about various other topics on operational management. And in this lecture series we will be discussing about value chain concepts and other concepts such as quality management, quality assurance, and such kind of a topics in this lecture series. So without any more delay, let's move on to the current today's video lecture series on value chain concept. I'm Pavithra, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration UG at Dr. SNS Rajlakshmi College of Arts and Science. So without any more delay, let's move on to the video. So starting with the value chain concept is nothing but it speaks about the integral process of a production unit. For example, let me explain this value chain concept with an example of a ice cream production unit. For an instance, you people assume that I have an ice cream production unit with me. So what are the activities that would be involved in my production unit? What would be my activities? Firstly, what would be my first work? I will be purchasing a raw material. Secondly, I will look on to need of any kind of a machinery to produce the product. And next, I will look on to the uh, different employees to be assigned to different types of a work in productions of those product, and I would be making a plan to attract new customers towards the product, like marketing strategies and various other promotional strategies. And I would also make a plan to a logistical plan to move the products from one place to another place to take those product to the customers. So this all would be my activity in my production unit, isn't it? So this is what called as a value chain concept. So the value chain concept is nothing but the whole process involved in a production of a product, from its initial stage to the end stage of taking the product to the customer. The whole life cycle process of producing a good and taking it to the customer's doorstep is termed as a value chain concept. So that is what explained here in this presentation. That is the a value chain refers to the full life cycle of a product or a process that including sourcing of material, production, consumption, and disposal or cycling process. This also speaks about the disposal and recycling process of a product too, not only till taking the product to the end customer, but also it speaks about the end stage of a product as well. So the value chain is a series of the consecutive steps in the sense the next proceeding steps, a series of consecutive steps that go into the creation of a finished products from its initial stage to taking the product to the customer's hand. So to learn more about this value chain concept, we should be more confident about the components of value chain concept, which has been introduced by Porter. So Mr. Porter has introduced in his theory about the components of a value chain. So the components of value chain is basically categorized into two main categories. So the one of the category is primary activity, and the next second category is the support activity. So the primary activity speaks about the initial stage in production of a product and taking the product to the end customer. So the whole process is called as a primary activity, and the support activity is nothing but the support activity is something that supports the primary activity to work more efficiently. So that is called as a support activity. Without more confusions and anything, primary activity is the activity that helps the value chain concept to move, helps the value chain concept to move smoothly, and the support activity is something that supports the primary activity to move smoothly and more efficiently. So this is what is that, and in our next video we will be clearly discussing about what are the 5 components of primary activity and what are the components of support activity detailedly in the next video. See you all soon in the next video, and thank you. Thank you all.